Baba Metzia Parak Hey Mishnah Chet, 8th Mishnah in the 5th chapter of Baba Metzia. We're continuing to talk about Avak Ribi. So now we're going to talk about this thing called Se'ah B'Se'ah. So there's a long introduction of the Kahati, which is really very good. And he says, listen, the Chazal said you're not allowed to, if there's no sha'ar, if there's, let's say that you want to borrow produce, you want to borrow a bushel of wheat, but they didn't set aside, there's no set price in the market now. So if there's no sha'ar, if I borrow a bushel of wheat from my neighbor or from my fellow businessman, right, the bushels of wheat, the commodities could change, could vary and fluctuate in price a lot. So if I borrow a bushel of wheat, let's say I borrow it today at $100 a bushel, tomorrow it could be $150 a bushel. So if I pay you back a bushel of wheat, that's considered avak ribi. That's se'ah, one bushel, one se'ah for another se'ah. Okay? So you're not allowed to, if there's no shar, you can't do sa'ah b'sa'ah. Rather, if I need to borrow a sa'ah, I can say, I'm borrowing a sa'ah and I'll pay you back the value of that sa'ah. Because then we know I'm going to pay, you're not getting interest, you're only getting the value of what I borrowed from you today. On the other hand, if there is a shar, then I can do sa'ah b'sa'ah, but what if the price goes up? So if the price goes down, I can give you back the sa'ah. If the price goes, if it goes down, I can give you sa'ah, right? Because you're getting back what I borrowed from you. If the price goes up, I can't give you sa'ah because that's rebate. So I can pay you the value of the sa'ah, okay, when I borrowed it. So that's the way Chazal prevented avak rebate on borrowing produce. And between you and me, Chazal obviously saw, between you and me, it's not between us, but Chazal clearly, when they said sa'ah b'sa'ah is prohibited, because they saw people, that was a speculator's way of investing. I have produce, and if I want to make an interest on my money, the price is going to go up as time goes along. Let's say in the beginning of the harvest, the sa'ah is worth X amount. But as time goes along and there's less and less produce available, it's going to be worth more. So I say to a guy, listen, I'll lend you the sa'ah now, pay me back the sa'ah in 6 months. So I know when he pays me back, it's going to be worth more because it's not going to be available. And that was, I guess, a way of speculating and making interest, making money. So Chazal didn't like that. So they said, no sa'ah. But the Amish is going to talk about sa'ah that are mutar. Mutar is a malveh adam et arisav, chitim bechitim lezera. But you can do sa'ah. If a person has an aris, I have land and I have a sharecropper. But the sharecropper doesn't have, he's supposed to supply the seeds, but he's had a hard year, he doesn't have any money, and I want him to plant the field. I want him to have a parnasa, I also want my field to be used. So the only way to do it is if I give him the wheat seeds now, but I'm not going to give him the wheat seeds. He has to provide wheat at the end. So I can do chitim b'chitim. So I can give him a sa'ah of chitim, okay, for b'chitim lizera. I can do it for the sake of his planting, and he's going to give me back chitim at the end. Even though, as the Bartender says, sa'ah b'sa'ah mutar lahavod la'aris, davka kisherotzel lizaro. I'm allowed to do it even davka when he wants to plant, even though later on he's going to have to pay me back sa'ah, and maybe it goes back in price. But I can't do it, give it to him if he wants to eat, if he's hungry. I can do it only for my sharecropper in the field. Okay, Rabban Gamliel would lend his arisim, his sharecroppers. They pay him back a certain amount. Okay, and we're going to see how he would be paid back. Why is he allowed to do that? When the aris borrows the wheat from the Baal Habayit, and he plants, when they get more expensive, he gives chitin. But isn't he paying back more than he borrowed because he's paying back a higher value? No, we don't look at it as a halva'ah. It's not like he's paying you back something. Rather, it's as if the Baal Habayit is yorei b'tocha me'achshav. The Baal Habayit is now taking a part. He's entering into the business now, so that the Baal Habayit would take his first portion of the wheat, meaning that's his investment in the field, so that he takes back the crop that he invested, and that's part of his payment from the chelik yagia la'aris. Okay, that's part of the payment from the aris's crops. He's just going to get paying back part of the crops. We don't look at it as payback because the aris is producing wheat anyway. And that's why the Baal Habayit entered into the agreement. Shito pachot mishar. Let's go back. the aris is going into the field. The aris is going into the field. On the condition in the deal of the business that the owner takes his portion, and that's why he entered into this agreement. She told pachot mishar arisim that he'll get less wheat than other arisim. Why? Because he took the wheat from the owner originally. It's not considered a halva'a b'ribi. But when Rabbi Gamliel would do this, when he would pay back biyoker v'huzlu, if he lent at a high price, and the wheat got cheaper, then obviously he would get back. He would pay back in wheat. Obizov v'hukru. But even if he lent at a cheap price and now it's more expensive, notel me'em kishar hazol. Okay, he would take back from them kishar hazol at the cheap price. We didn't learn that. The halacha was if it got cheaper, then he would pay back the wheat. If it got more expensive, then he would pay back at the amount of the loan. But Rabbi Gamliel wouldn't do that. It's not because the halacha required this. He wanted to be machmir on himself. He wanted to be more strict on himself. Okay? Rabbi Gamliel would say, if it got cheaper, he would take the cheap price. Even though, halachically, if it got cheaper, okay, he was allowed to take the wheat itself, and then hopefully it would get more expensive. He didn't do that to be machmir because he wanted to be machmir on himself. That other people, he wanted to be more strict than he really had to be. We'll stop here. Dedicate our learning to memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a good day.